it was very much, they had larger teams. Give you an example, Coca-Cola was up to 15 dedicated people. And that's all they did. They had someone from GBS, our consulting arm, which took in PwCC. Back in the past, they had somebody for software, hardware. They had people dedicated, 15. A year ago, they were down to 2. So they got basically the hybrid model of taking people from each of the brands and saying, I'm going to take 30% of you and 25% of you and 20% of you, and you guys are, going to be in my account. They have found that just recently, I've got good friends that are on some of these accounts, and they just told me that the input back from the clients is, IBM, you're losing your way. You've cut yourself so far to the bone that there's not enough people to dedicate to our large account that you've got. So it's been a very much of a, I think they're starting to swing back. They're saying they're going to dedicate more people, but you have to find a right balance point from an SG&A standpoint that your client can afford on the account. And then you got to think about the complexities of that account is that besides selling cloud offerings, they've got data management and storage type of work. How diverse is that portfolio? I mean, how many products are they selling, and how is your go-to-market strategy? Do you have to lead with a consulting engagement to get that pilot, or is it something that is pretty intuitive and you don't need that? So it depends on the dynamic. By the way, let me just stop for a second and tell you that I have recently changed my status with GLG and another group I'm working with, that I do some outbound work too, and I'm part of brainstorming sessions or work sessions with clients. So if you ever need me to do more in terms of, coming and helping you craft some of this stuff as a contract for a couple of days, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you. We certainly appreciate that offer.
Yeah. So back into another thing, the managing director thing to let you know is how are they measured? And this is important because as your client will, if you dedicate some people and you make these top accounts and you dedicate some resources, you want to be, they feel important because it's a quid pro quo. I'm doing this because you're going to grow, and I'm going to take a barometer each year to make sure our managing director is doing well. Overall, your customer satisfaction is there, and your expectations of what we're doing is met. But behind there, the managing director is paid on really three major elements, which is revenue, profit, and customer sat. And customer sat is usually one of the top executives in the company. In case of IBM, one of the top 50 executives are usually what they call a partnership exec or PEP exec. And that person would be assigned, one assigned to Coke, one to PepsiCo, one to Lufthansa, one to Bank of America, just keeps going to Boeing Aircraft. They're just, they're assigned there. So they come in from Armonk or wherever they are, and they're way above they're above the managing director, and they really have an encompassing discussion about how the IBM company is doing with their company. And what can they be doing more? Are they doing the right things? What are we missing? So it's another layer of not only feedback, power from the C-suite from IBM, but then also giving them sort of the feeling, which is true. If customer sat is there and we're doing everything possible and their business is growing, de facto they should be buying more from us. If they're not, then there's a problem.
Yeah, that's interesting, and that makes sense.
There are some other elements they put in. I'm sorry, I was just going to say there are some other elements they put in there that, I'm not going to waste your time, but there's some things like putting in, selling as service. So if a managing director is in Coke, as an example, and they don't sell software as a service or analytics as a service or something as a service where the new models are going for consumption-based, then they don't reach particular, break points in their compensation, and therefore they don't make as much money. So there are some elements they throw in from a strategic standpoint that basically you need to hit those in order to make more money.